Good evening from Targeted Massachusetts and the Republic Broadcasting Network. My name is Frank Allen, and I will be your host. You can call in and ask a question at 800-313-9443, or you can just listen at 605-313-0163. You can receive a copy of our weekly newsletter simply by writing frank@targetedmassachusetts.org. In the subject line, type newsletter or visit our site at targetedmassachusetts.org. And in the navigation, go to contact information. When completed, click submit or call me in the U.S. at 1-508-857-8334. In case you've just tuned in for the first time or you've missed a few nights, we have been talking about HAARP from the beginning. Okay, and we've uncovered some pretty interesting things that HAARP can do. It can lift the ionosphere to let a missile in. It can do all kinds of things like tear up the Schumann resonance, which is supposed to be 7.83. Now, today it was 49. There's not even a scale to measure that goes up to 49. The highest scale was 32. So I'm going to read you a press release from the University of Alaska, which says, well, put it this way, it's a lot of whitewash. Auroral Research Program, acronym HAARP. HAARP is a scientific endeavor aimed at studying the properties and behavior of the ionosphere. Wrong. Operation of the research facility was transferred from the United States Air Force to the University of Alaska Fairbanks. Not really. That was on August 11th, 2015. Now, this allowed HAARP to continue with exploration of ionospheric phenomenology via a land use cooperative research. You see the word cooperative in there? That means the military is there and can walk up to the control panel anytime they feel like it. So a cooperative research and development agreement. Now, this is some more untruths here. HAARP is the world's most capable high-power, high-frequency transmitter for study of the ionosphere. This is true. The HAARP program is committed to developing a world-class ionospheric research facility. Not really. They the DoD likes it for weaponry. Okay, the Ionospheric Research Instrument, a high-power transmitter facility operating in the high-frequency range. The IRI can be used to temporarily excite a limited area of the ionosphere for scientific study. Well, it can, but it doesn't. They raised the ionosphere, physically raise the belt to allow a missile in or allow a missile out, whatever the case may be, or let one go by, a friend's missile. Okay, a sophisticated suite of scientific or diagnostic instruments that can be used to observe the physical processes that occur in the excited region. Well, they already know that, and they are tearing up our planet. Now, I keep telling everyone Why didn't they ask us before they started doing all this? Why didn't they ask us if it was all right for them to destroy our planet? Well, they didn't ask anybody. So a sophisticated suite of diagnostic instruments, that's good. It is, but it's very destructive. Observation of the processes resulting from the use of the IRI in a controlled manner will allow scientists to better understand processes that occur continuously under the natural stimulation of the sun. That's the biggest joke that I've ever heard. In a couple minutes, I will be into what is really going on there. And for you TIs out there, you should be really very interested. Scientific instruments installed at the HAARP Observatory can also be used for a variety of continuing research efforts, which do not involve the use of the IRI, but are strictly passive. Sure they are. These include ionospheric characterization using satellite beacons, telescopic observation of the fine structure in the aurora, right, and documentation of long-term variations in the ozone layer. Sure, they do these things, okay? But that's not why it's there. It's there for DOD. Okay, let's move on. They told how to make nuclear-sized explosions without radiation. Think of that. So HAARP can do that. They didn't tell you about that, did they? Okay, let me see what else it can do. How about, let me see, power beaming systems over the horizon radar, detection systems for missiles carrying nuclear warheads, electromagnetic pulses previously produced by thermonuclear weapons, and other, President Ronald Reagan's term, Star Wars tricks. So there was a cluster of patents that underlay the HAARP weapon system. No, I did say HAARP weapon system. Now, related research by Mr. Bache and Manning uncovered bizarre schemes. Now, the Air Force documents revealed that a system had been developed for manipulating, TIs, get ready for this, manipulating and disturbing human mental processes through pulsed radio frequency radiation over large The most telling material about this technology came from the writings of Zbigniew Brzezinski, former national security advisor to the U.S. President Carter and J.F. McDonald, who's a science advisor to U.S. President Johnson, and professor of geophysics at UCLA, as they wrote about use of power beaming transmitters for geophysical and environmental warfare. The documents showed how these effects might be caused and the negative effects on human health and thinking. The mental disruption possibilities for HAARP are the most disturbing. More than 40 pages of the book, with dozens of footnotes, chronicle the work of Harvard professors, military planners, and scientists as they plan and test the use of this electromagnetic technology. Anytime you hear the words electromagnetic technology, it equates to the targeting and torture of human beings. Now, this is from the International Red Cross. Geneva, it even gave the frequency ranges where these effects could occur, the same ranges which HAARP can dial in and broadcast. The following statement was made more than 25 years ago in a book by Brzezinski, which he wrote while being a professor at Columbia University. Political strategists are tempted to exploit research on the brain and human behavior. This is some idiots, psychopaths' dreams to control other people, to control elections, to control turnout on voter day or election day. MacDonald, a specialist in problems of warfare, says accurately timed, artificially excited electronic strokes could lead to a pattern of oscillations that produce relatively high power levels over certain regions of the Earth. So that in this way, one could develop a system that would seriously impair the brain performance of a very large population in selected regions over an extended period. So we've got a real damaging girl here. This lady can take down the atmosphere, move the ionosphere, and take down people at the same time. That's quite an invention. I definitely would vote for that somewhere. No matter how deeply disturbing the thought of using the environment to manipulate behavior for national advantages to some, the technology permitting such use will probably develop within the next few decades. That's the big joke. Within the next few decades. We have TIs that have been going through this for 30 years. I've been going through it for 7.5 years. So it's utterly ridiculous. Way back in 1966, MacDonald was a member of the President's Science Advisory Committee, and later a member of the President's Council on Environmental Quality. He published papers on the use of environmental control technologies for military purposes. The most profound comment he made as a geophysicist was, the key to geophysical warfare is the identification and instabilities of the environment, to which the addition of a small amount of energy would release vastly greater amounts of energy. While yesterday's geophysicists predicted today's advances, are HAARP program managers delivering on the vision? Yes, they are. They're delivering on DOD's vision. That's who they're delivering on. This thing will create an electromagnetic pulse that will stop communications in a country, not just an area. It'll take out a whole country. Okay, as I mentioned, the Schumann resonance at 4 p.m. on Friday was 50 hertz, nominal being 7.83. Today it was 49. Does anybody realize the effect that this is going to have on people? Some people are going to be euphoric, enlightened. Other people will go mad because you cannot survive. Humans cannot. Animals cannot. Plants cannot survive without the Schumann resonance. The geophysicists recognized that adding energy to the environmental soup could have large effects. However, humankind has already added substantial amounts of electromagnetic energy into our environment. Did they call you and ask you? They didn't call me. Did we vote on that? I don't think we did. If we did vote on it, it must have been on an island on a Sunday, like some other things were voted in. But this is ridiculous. This is like the CERN facility. Did you vote for that? No. Did they ask us if they could, risk destroying our planet? Answer, no. The geophysicist recognized? No, I don't think so. They didn't recognize anything. Have these additions been without effect? Or is there a cumulative amount beyond which irreparable damage can be done? Okay, folks, we have to go to commercial. We'll be right back in 3 minutes.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, the number 2, keep it today.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Calling you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Calling you. There's a gun and ammunition just inside the doorway. Use it only in emergency. Better you should pray to God, the Father and the Spirit will guide you and protect you from up here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you? Swear allegiance to the flag, whatever flag they offer. Never hint at what you really feel.
Good evening from Targeted, Massachusetts and the Republic Broadcasting Network. In case you just tuned in, my name is Frank Allen, and we have been speaking about HAARP, that mysterious antenna array in Alaska. If you'd like to call in and ask a question or make a comment, dial 800-313-9443, or you can just listen at 605-313-0163. Now, you can receive one of our newsletters that comes out every Sunday without fail. You can write me at frank at targetedmassachusetts.org. In the subject line, type newsletter, or you can visit our site at targetedmassachusetts.org. And in the navigation, go to Contact Information. When completed, click Submit. Or call me in the U.S. at 1-508-857-8334. And we'll get right back to HAARP and its disturbing revelations that we've uncovered. Now, is HAARP another step in a journey from which we cannot turn back? Interesting. Are we about to embark on another journey or another energy experiment which unleashes another set of demons from Pandora's box? As early as 1970, Zbigniew Brzezinski predicted a more controlled and directed society. He predicted that this would gradually appear, linked to technology. This society would be dominated by an elite group which impresses voters by allegedly superior scientific know-how. You can find a lot of this information in Angels Don't Play This HAARP. He further quotes that, unhindered by the restraints of traditional liberal values, this elite would not hesitate to achieve its political ends by using the latest modern techniques for influencing the public behavior and keeping society under close surveillance and control. Technical and scientific momentum would then feed on the situation it exploits. Brzezinski predicted. He was very accurate, right to the penny. Today, a number of new tools for the elite are emerging, and the temptation to use them increases. Okay, folks, we'll go into commercial. See you in 3 minutes.
Don't believe the church and state and everything they tell you. Believe in me, I'm with the high command. Can you hear me?
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Do you know there is an ongoing war right here in America? Are you aware that U.S. citizens have been classified as enemies of the state since 1933? Have you recognized that our entire government is really a vast network of interlocking corporations engaged in commerce? Look up Title 28, Section 3002. Tune in to In Defense of Humanity on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Find out what's really going on and learn how to protect yourself and your family as flesh and blood men and women living in a corporate reality.
It happens more often than we can imagine. In my case, I was sitting at home and out of nowhere, I just started feeling uncomfortable. Then it got worse, and I started perspiring. I tried to ignore it, but I waited too long. The chest pain came as we were driving to the hospital emergency. I felt my life clock begin to tick. I barely survived. There was lots of damage done to my heart. What do I do now? I was lucky. I took a leap of faith and tried a 7-herb formula with hawthorn, garlic, cayenne, and more called Extendivite. Herbs have been used for thousands of years to keep us healthy. If you're not using Extendivite as a preventative supplement, maybe it's time to start. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
Good evening from Targeted Massachusetts and the Republic Broadcasting Network. My name is Frank Allen. In case you've just tuned in, we have been talking about the HAARP facility in Alaska. We've also been talking about the first press release they came out with that said that it was going to be a totally passive instrument for research. And it turns out that this passive research would kill this planet. And that is fact. Okay, I will pick up where I left off. The U.S. Air Force claims the potential applications of artificial electromagnetic fields are wide-ranging and can be used in many military or quasi-military situations. So, they've gone against it right there. Now the military is saying what it's doing. Some of these potential uses include dealing with terrorist groups. Okay, did you know that targeted individuals like myself are deemed terrorists? Well, guess what? We're not. We're all good people being targeted by a government. So, this includes dealing with terrorist groups, crowd control, controlling breaches of security at military installations, anti-personnel techniques in tactical warfare. Now, all of these cases, electromagnetic systems, would be used to produce mild, listen to this now, mild to severe psychological disruption of perceptual distortion or disorientation. Sound like a dangerous thing to you? It does to me. In addition, the ability of individuals to function could be degraded to such a point that they would be combat ineffective. Now, this is, they said combat, but they also said crowd control. Okay, we have another advantage of electromagnetic systems. They can provide coverage over large areas with a single system. They are silent. And countermeasures to them may be difficult to develop. One last area where electromagnetic radiation may prove of some value is enhancing abilities of individuals for anomalous phenomena. Figure that one out. Do these comments point to uses already somewhat developed? Well, they do. The author of the government report refers to an earlier Air Force document about the uses of radio frequency radiation in combat situations. HAARP is the most versatile and the largest radio frequency radiation transmitter in the world. But now we have China, who has an antenna array as big as New York City. That's interesting. They're developing the same capabilities. And guess where they're going to use that? On their enemies. And no matter what we do with China, we are always an enemy to China. That's how they view us. The United States congressional record deals with the use of the HAARP for penetrating the Earth with signals bounced off of the ionosphere. Now, these signals are used to look inside the planet to a depth of many miles now. So we're bouncing a beam off of the ionosphere to the ground where it travels for miles. So in this case, this could be a reason why TIs don't find any relief when they go in caves or underground or ground themselves. In fact, in this case, grounding yourself could make things worse. But the U.S. Senate set aside $15 million just for this capability alone. Earth-penetrating tomography. The problem is that the frequency needed for Earth penetration radiation is within the frequency range most cited for disruption of human mental functions. God, what are they doing? It may also have profound effects on migration patterns of fish and wild animals. This might be why whales sometimes, unfortunately, people, by the hundreds, drive themselves onto beaches. This is why sometimes flocks of geese land halfway to their destination and perish. Electromagnetic pulses in the sky and mental disruption were not enough. They bragged that the super powerful ionospheric heater could control the weather. Now, personally, before this happened to me, that's what I thought HAARP was all about, controlling the weather. I said, oh, great, well, they're controlling the weather. Maybe they'll do something great for the country. But no, it's a weapon. Once the military has weather control technology, it could create effects over entire hemispheres. Can you imagine that? Controlling the weather of the Northern Hemisphere in its entirety. If a government experiments with the world's weather patterns, what is done in one place will impact everything else on the planet. Now, if you look at Texas, I think you've all got a place in your heart for Texans because they get squashed and flooded to death. Now, growing up, I don't remember any such instances of Texas being flooded like this, except in a hurricane. But now it seems that there's no limit. Now, I don't know if any of you have, well, you all have. You've examined a soap bubble. And if you look at it real close, you can see the colors and the liquid that's on the surface all flowing around. Well, that is exactly what the ionosphere is. Now, Elizabeth Rouser has a PhD, a long and impressive career in high-energy physics, and has been published in prestigious science journals and books. Rouser commented on HAARP. You're pumping tremendous energy into an extremely delicate molecular configuration that comprises these multi-layers we call the ionosphere. Now, it is prone to catalytic reactions. In other words, a catalyst may cause a dramatic change. So if a small part is changed, a major change in the ionosphere can happen. So, in essence, they could actually blow the atmosphere right off of this little planet of ours, and we would be like Mars. But the only thing that keeps that from happening is the core of the Earth. It's still molten and still churning and still creating a very strong gravity. Dr. Rouser shared her mental picture of it. A sphere surrounding Earth's atmosphere with movements swirling over the surface. If a big enough hole is punched through it, she predicts it could pop. Now, slicing the ionosphere. Physicist Daniel Winter Ph.D. of Waynesville, North Carolina, says HAARP, high-frequency emissions, can couple with long-wave or extremely low frequency, or ELF, pulses. Pulses the grid uses to distribute information as vibrations to synchronize dances of life in the biosphere. Well, I think he's had a few too many pills or something. Dan terms this geomagnetic action Earth's information bloodstream and says it is likely that coupling of HAARP's high frequency with natural extra low frequency can cause unplanned, unsuspected side effects. So you see what we're getting into here. We're getting into an installation who is all about military. I'm sure that a lot of you have seen movies about generals when there isn't a war. They go nuts. They have to have war to survive. So the minute they see something like this, they jump on it, because this is a way that we can have our little private war, maybe. I don't know, that's what it looks like to me. HAARP will not burn holes in the ionosphere. That is a dangerous understatement of what HAARP's greatest gigawatt beam will do. Can you imagine a gigawatt? Now that is 1 watt per square centimeter. Now, this is very impressive. Nothing has come close to this kind of concentration. Earth is spinning relative to thin electric shells of multi-layer membrane of ion spheres. Now, these spheres absorb and shield Earth's surface from intense solar radiation, including charged particle storms in solar winds. They come from the sun. Now, Earth's spin means that HAARP, in a burst lasting more than a few minutes, will slice through the ionosphere like a microwave knife. This produces not a hole, but a long tear, an incision. So, who asked the people if these jokers could do this to our planet? We, the people. At least in the United States, we, the people, means a lot. Or it used to. Because now it would appear that any time that this government feels that it can do something, government does as it pleases. And they come up with the phony press release that I read in the very beginning. Okay, folks, we have a commercial. My name is Frank. I'll be right back.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, keep it today.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org, and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcast. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
Good evening from Targeted, Massachusetts and the Republic Broadcasting Network. In case you've just tuned in, my name is Frank Allen, and I will be your host. It's really sad that we have but 1 hour to share together, because there are so many things that I cannot say because there is just not enough time. We have been speaking about HAARP. We have been speaking about the phony press release in the beginning. We've been speaking about the military aspects that nobody told us. The deepest thing into military that I heard was the use of HAARP to communicate with submarines, which I guess it does as well. Okay, I will pick up where I left off and pray for another hour. Second concept. As the Earth rotates, HAARP will slice across a donut-shaped spool of magnetic strings like longitude meridians on maps. So this would be like a series of lines going from the North Pole to the South Pole. HAARP may not cut these strings in the the magnetic mantle, but will pulse each thread with harsh, out of harmony, high frequencies. Now, everybody knows that our planet operates in harmony. Everything works together to produce this beautiful place that we live. We have to start appreciating it and stopping projects that will eventually terminate life just so these scientists can get a paycheck. Okay, the image comes to mind of a spider in its web. And the insect reacts the spider reacts when an insect falls into the web and the spider feels the tension being possible prey. HAARP will be a man-made microwave finger poking at the web, sending out confusing signals, if not tearing holes in the threads. Does this sound like something that should be operating? Did anybody ask you about this? Did you get a letter in the mail saying, do you want this HAARP project to go on? I didn't get one. Effects of this interference with symphonies that play out. Thank you, folks. God bless you all. Have a great night. My name is Frank Allen.
Many people write us about their experience with Extendivite. Allow me to read you some from Amazon.com. It really does work like the review says it does. I cannot believe that after the first few days, I didn't feel as sluggish or clogged up. It has had a profound impact on my physical, emotional well-being. I'm skeptical as most people about products and their claims, and I never write reviews, but this is a wonderful product and I recommend it to everyone. Great product. It has brought my blood pressure from the mid-150s over the 80s to the mid-130s over mid-80s, along with diet and exercise in just the past couple of months. Excellent. Thank you, David. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
You're listening to Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.